Suzume is a 2022 anime film that masterfully combines deep, meaningful storytelling with passionate dialogue, fantastically vibrant yet mysterious world-building, and absolutely beautiful artwork that captures the imagination. This film has remarkably broad appeal. It can captivate children, resonate with young adults, welcome newcomers to anime, satisfy long-time dedicated fans, features an emotional narrative that particularly resonates with many viewers, and includes supernatural action sequences that provide thrilling entertainment for everyone. If you can't tell already, I genuinely loved Suzume, and I'm excited to share my thoughts about why this film deserves your attention. Suzume centers around 17-year-old Suzume Iwato, an orphaned high school student, and a mysterious young man named Sota Munakata. Together, they embark on an urgent mission to stop a string of potential disasters throughout Japan by closing mysterious doors that, when left open, unleash a massive supernatural worm-like entity responsible for triggering devastating earthquakes. Yes, you heard that correctly. A giant supernatural worm causes earthquakes. Trust me, it works within the film's internal logic. The film's director, Makoto Shinkai, is also renowned for directing acclaimed anime films such as Your Name in 2016 and Weathering with You in 2019. I've spent the past month talking about Shinkai and these other films. You can see those reviews on this very channel. Along with Suzume, these three films rank among the highest-grossing Japanese films of all time, both domestically in Japan and internationally at the time of their respective releases. This track record speaks to Shinkai's exceptional ability to craft stories that resonate across cultural boundaries and appeal to diverse audiences. If you have already experienced Suzume and were thoroughly impressed by its quality, you should definitely add Shinkai's other two major films to your watch queue. Trust me when I say that you're in for a treat. Before we go further, I want to provide a slight spoiler warning. I'm going to break down the plot in detail and share my comprehensive opinions on the film as a whole. If you have not seen Suzume yet and want to experience it fresh, you may want to bookmark this video and return after watching. For everyone else, let's dive in. Suzume Iwato is an orphaned high school student who lives with her aunt in Kyushu, the southernmost of Japan's main island. Her life takes an extraordinary turn one seemingly ordinary day when she encounters a mysterious young man named Sota Munakata, who is searching for specific doors located in abandoned places throughout the region. Intrigued by the stranger and his unusual quest, Suzume follows him, and together they discover something incredible, a supernatural worm-like entity that causes catastrophic earthquakes by escaping through these mysterious doors that exist in abandoned locations. These aren't ordinary doors, they're supernatural portals to another realm called the Ever After, and when left unsecured, they allow this destructive force to emerge into the physical world. The situation becomes significantly more complicated when Suzume inadvertently frees a keystone, which takes the form of a mischievous white cat that has been holding the worm in check. This cat, whom they eventually named Daijin, plays a crucial role in the story's progression and adds unexpected complications for their mission. With the Keystone Cat now free and the supernatural worm threatening to cause unprecedented destruction, Suzume and Sota begin an urgent journey across Japan to locate and lock all the dangerous doors, preventing the worm from escaping and causing further earthquakes and devastation.
Alert, 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 alert.
As their journey progresses, we learn important information about Sota's background and purpose. He's known as a closer, someone specifically designated with the responsibility of closing these abandoned doors throughout Japan to prevent the giant worm from escaping and causing major damage and destruction. This isn't a job that he chose casually. Sota comes from a long ancestral line of closers, and this sacred responsibility has now been entrusted to him as the latest in his family's legacy. This revelation adds more significant weight to the narrative. Sota isn't just some random person who stumbled into the situation. He's been preparing for this role his entire life, carrying the burden of protecting Japan from supernatural disasters that most people don't even know exists. Along their journey, Suzume and Sota receive help from various people they encounter, kind strangers who provide transportation, shelter, and assistance without fully understanding the supernatural crisis unfolding around them. These supporting characters add warmth and humanity to the story, demonstrating the fundamental kindness that exists in ordinary people. However, their quest becomes dramatically more complicated when Sota is transformed into a small, three-legged children's chair by the mischievous Keystone Cat, Daijin. Yes, you heard that correctly. One of our protagonists spends a significant portion of the film as a talking chair. This bizarre transformation could have been ridiculous, but the film handles it with such sincerity and emotional weight that it becomes genuinely compelling rather than absurd. As Suzume literally carries Chair Sota across Japan in pursuit of the worm, they learn increasingly important information about the mysterious Ever After realm, the otherworldly dimension where the worm originates, and the legend of the keystones that keep the destructive entity sealed away from the human world. If you've made it this far and are enjoying what you've seen and heard, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. The stakes reach their absolute peak when the pair arrives in Tokyo, Japan's most densely populated metropolis. Here, the worm threatens to cause a catastrophic earthquake that could result in unprecedented destruction and loss of life. In a desperate attempt to prevent this disaster, Sota is forced to become the new Keystone himself, essentially sacrificing his humanity and freedom to seal the worm and save millions of lives. This moment represents the film's emotional climax and showcases the depth of Sota's character. He's willing to condemn himself to an existence as a living seal, trapped forever in the ever after, to protect the people of Japan. It's a genuinely heroic sacrifice that carries tremendous emotional weight. However, Suzume refuses to accept this outcome, determined to save Sota despite the seemingly impossible odds, and with the help of the second keystone, another cat named Sanajin, who represents the eastern keystone, while Daijin is the western keystone, she makes the courageous decision to enter the Ever After realm herself. Inside the Ever After, Suzume not only works to free Sota, but also experiences a profound personal revelation. She realizes that she had actually visited this realm before as a young child, shortly after losing her mother in the devastating 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, a real historical tragedy that claimed thousands of lives. In one of the film's most emotionally powerful sequences, Suzume encounters her younger self, still lost and grieving in the Ever After. She's able to provide comfort to her past self, helping that traumatized child find the strength to move forward with life despite unbearable loss. This moment beautifully ties together the film's themes of grief, healing, and the importance of moving forward while still honoring what we've lost. Ultimately, Suzume and Sota successfully manage to seal the worm once again, preventing the catastrophic Tokyo earthquake. Daijin reverts to his role as the Western Keystone, resuming his responsibility of keeping the worm contained. The balance is restored, and Japan is safe from this particular supernatural threat. After this extraordinary adventure that has taken her across the entire country and literally into another dimension, Suzume returns home to Kyushu with her aunt. Along the way, they make a point of revisiting and thanking the various friends and kind strangers who helped them during their urgent cross-country journey. These moments provide satisfying closure for the supporting characters and reinforce the film's themes about human connection and kindness. The film concludes with a beautiful, hopeful moment. Suzume encounters Sota again at the exact same location where they first met. This circular narrative structure suggests that their bond will continue beyond the immediate crisis they faced together, leaving viewers with a sense of romantic possibility and ongoing connection. Now I'm going to put on my nitpicky hat and offer two small critiques of the film just because I think balanced analysis is important. First, there's the speed of Suzume's emotional attachment to Sota. She meets this mysterious stranger and, while she doesn't immediately admit it, falls deeply enough in love with him that she's literally willing to travel to the afterlife and sacrifice herself to save him. On the surface, this seems somewhat rushed and potentially unrealistic. However, I'll walk this critique back back somewhat because there are reasonable explanations. Suzume is young and impressionable, only 17 years old. Sota is introducing her to a world she never knew existed, which is inherently exciting and intoxicating. She also becomes increasingly invested in their mission after Sota is transformed into a chair, creating a sense of responsibility for his predicament. So while this rapid emotional attachment initially seems like a potential weakness, it can be explained and understood within the context of her character and circumstances. The second critique relates to the world building, which, while well executed, could have gone deeper with certain explanations. What exactly is the worm? Where did it originate? Where did the supernatural doors come from? And why do they behave the way they do? How did the tradition of the closers get started in the first place? How did Sota's family line originally receive this responsibility? There are also unresolved questions about supporting characters. Will Suzume's aunt start dating her coworker who's clearly interested in her? What happens to Sota's friend who drove Suzume and her aunt across half of Japan during their urgent pursuit? However, I want to immediately address why this second critique isn't actually a significant problem. Suzume does exactly what many great anime films do so effectively. It tells you just enough to get you through the story. It builds just enough of the world for the narrative to make sense as it progresses from point A to point B. If something doesn't need to be explained for the story to work emotionally or thematically, it simply isn't explained. This restraint is actually a strength rather than a weakness. It stands in stark contrast to something many Western films and series suffer from: over-explanation. In contemporary Western media, every even semi-popular show or film seems to require a sequel, a prequel, multiple spin-offs, and an entire cinematic universe to explain why someone in the first 20 minutes had a particular accessory or made an offhand comment. This tendency towards exhaustive explanation often undermines the mystery and magic that made the original property compelling in the first place. Suzume wisely avoids this trap, trusting its audience to accept the fantastic elements and focus on the emotional journey rather than depending on comprehensive lore explanations. The visual presentation is consistently stunning, with particular highlights being the Ever After sequence and the depiction of the supernatural worm. The attention to detail in both fantastical and realistic settings is exceptional, but this tracks for Makoto Shinkai films. The conversations feel natural and emotionally authentic, effectively conveying character relationships and thematic content without becoming overly expositionary or artificial. Even supporting characters who appear briefly have their motivations fairly well fleshed out or made sufficiently obvious throughout visual storytelling and brief interactions. Suzume's personal arc is particularly well developed. While well above average and certainly effective for the story being told, I would have appreciated slightly more information about the mechanics and origins of the supernatural elements. That being said, the restraint shown here is also a strength, as discussed earlier. The narrative successfully incorporates elements that appeal to diverse audiences while maintaining thematic coherence and emotional authenticity. The personal journey and the supernatural adventure complement each other beautifully. My overall rating of the film is an 8.5 out of 10. Suzume is a solidly excellent film that demonstrates why Makoto Shinkai has become one of the most celebrated anime directors working today. My personal assessments align fairly well with broader critical and audience reception, as Suzume has been widely embraced as a high-quality film that successfully achieves its artistic and entertainment goals. Regardless of specific numerical ratings, the most important thing I can tell you is this: you can have a genuinely enjoyable movie experience with Suzume. Whether you're watching alone, with a significant other, or with your entire family, this film offers something meaningful and entertaining. It's accessible enough for younger viewers while containing sufficient depth and emotional complexity to engage adults. It's a perfect introduction to anime for newcomers while still satisfying dedicated fans with its quality and artistry. It balances spectacular supernatural action with genuine emotional resonance. If you're looking for a beautifully animated film that combines adventure, romance, personal growth, and imaginative fantasy with themes of grief, healing, and human connection, Suzume absolutely deserves your time and attention. Have you seen Suzume? What did you think about it? Did the rapid romance work for you, or did you feel it was rushed? Were you satisfied with the level of world-building explanation, or did you want more detail? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. This is 3PC, Past, Present, Pop Culture. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.